I'm just going to briefly touch on Anaconda 2025 because I said that I was going to talk about that. Okay, so this is a really interesting reboot. Another theme of the night was reboots that are like not unexpected or just kind of weird ideas for reboots. So Anaconda in this 2025 film, it it's like a meta sequel. Kind of, it's really bizarre that so in this world that Jack Black and Paul Rudd and gang exist in, they exist in the world that like that's like they watched Anaconda when it came out, and the hold on, switch. Okay, here we go. So they watched it when they were younger. They really liked it. Their Jack Black is an aspiring filmmaker, but is in a job he doesn't like, so he's trying to figure out what's going to be his big break. And then Paul Rudd, his friend, is an actor who also is trying to find his big break because he's just getting bit parts and getting any not getting what he wants in life. So it's kind of like a midlife crisis movie too, which is kind of funny. That so Paul Rudd says just pitches to Jack Black, I got the movie rights to Anaconda, so I want to remake it and I want you to direct it. So it's such a weird idea that they just go with it. It's them and then Thandie Newton and Steve Zahn and then the snake handler guy. I can't think of his actor's name, but he's really funny too. They go down to the Amazon to remake Anaconda, but with like zero budget, no experience, no nothing, and it goes very badly, very badly. But I will say, going into it, I thought the movie could be awful because the trailer evidence from me. But whenever Jacob hit me up to give you one to go see it, and I was like, okay, okay, yeah, I'll do it. Just see it because I was curious about how they would do this, and man, he and I were just laughing so consistently through this movie. Like it's just I like movies that are about filmmaking and all the perils of filmmaking, how hard it is, and how many things go wrong. Kind of funny. There's multiple Jack Black movies that are about that, with like King Kong, Be Kind, Rewind, Tropic Thunder. Like he seems to really like filmmaking and like doing stories about filmmaking. So if you're at all like that, it's really interesting if you like those kind of things. Me being starting out in video production in high school, and with Griff was also in video production. Logan was in video production with me. Jacob would do stuff with us occasionally too. But it just you can I kind of saw a lot of myself and my friends in these characters that they're just a bunch of people that are really passionate trying to do something and it's just not going right at all. But I was surprised that it's Anaconda, so I'm like, yeah, there's gonna be a big snake at some point. It's gonna show up and cause mayhem. But I was surprised how little of the story it's actually in. Like it's just like it's there for like the second half of the movie, basically. Also, I'm just really happy that this movie wasn't quite what I expected because I thought it was just literally going to be the same movie as Anaconda, just as a dumb comedy. But the meta-ness of it and the filmmaking aspects of it, I really appreciated. Heck, even even Paul Rudd's character's name is literally Griff. So so Griff, if you watch this, I think you'll really like this movie. You'll at least see a little bit of what I see in it. Uh, so yeah, there's some good twists and turns. One of my only problems with it, like, 'cause I think it's genuinely pretty funny. My only problem is that it's not R rated. If it was R rated, you would get to do a lot more like screwed up humor and violence, which it's a personal taste thing. But Tropic Thunder is one of my favorite movies, and how deranged and how badly things go in that movie for the people making the movie. I just wish there was a bit more of an edge to this movie. But there is one scene with Paul Rudd and an assault rifle that made me laugh really hard because I was like, oh no, this is going to end terribly. But yeah, it just overall it's very funny. The last half of it, like the first half, you kind of understand that's kind of what the trailer is selling you, is that these amateur filmmakers going to remake a movie, and then a giant snake shows up and starts picking people off. So you're like, oh, okay, I get the premise. But like with the 28 Years Later movies, it's not. What I was seeing was only like half of the picture. Going into it, when like the second half of it happens, it's so different. Like it becomes way more meta. Becomes it just keeps pulling things out that I did not expect. That and I won't spoil like some people that show up in the movie and some things that happen, but I really enjoyed it. It was really a great time, and the I will say Jack Black, he always like loves old rock and roll and metal and stuff, and his whenever he's in a movie, he always tries to inject a little bit of his musical taste in the movie, which I did in this in this movie. So I appreciated that. The couple of action scenes, one set the Back in Black, and one of them is Kickstart My Heart, which are two songs I really like. And then even just like using music to make a scene funnier, like there's one scene where a CCR song is playing that I did not expect. I hadn't heard it in years. I was like, oh, with a song you haven't heard in such a long time. I was like, that's really cool. I appreciate that you did that. Okay, so I'm starting to wrap up here as I'm about out of time. But in final thoughts, I think the 28 Years Later movies, if you like those kind of movies, you should definitely check them out if you haven't. Anaconda, even though I was lukewarm on it going in, didn't think I would like it that much. Ended up really liking it and really appreciating it. If the stuff I brought up about these movies, then check them out if you when you get the time to. Because I actually figured out that I think Anaconda goes on digital like this week, so you shouldn't have to wait for it too long. I hope 28 Years Later, Bone Temple does more better in the box office because I know it wasn't doing it fantastic, but it was doing all right. I know they're planning on making a third one, so I really hope that they get to make the third one because I think that's the movie people were really wanting. Even though the last two movies I think are good, I think the next one has potential to be even better. Oh, and I will say I was really afraid that they would sequel bait with Anaconda, that they would want to do like a reboot trilogy, like so many franchises are doing now, which doesn't make any sense because a lot of them, like, they're not known for being a trilogy. So why would you reboot and make a trilogy? But thankfully, the way Anaconda 2025, okay, this was a one-time thing. It was fun. It didn't overstay its welcome. It's only like 90 minutes, so it really flew by, and it was a good time. I so I appreciated it for what it was. Wasn't expecting anything great out of it, but I had a lot of fun with what it gave me. I think I've rambled on enough for tonight, and I appreciate everybody that watched and came on, and I hope to do these a bit more often.